Okay, so now I would like to go more specifically to me, because I'm already making also baby steps in channeling of my own as well. And I wanted to go to Egypt in February, and I got some signals, like big check mark out of the clouds that it was a good decision in the beginning. But now I actually got a message that I shouldn't go there anymore, that I should cancel the whole trip. And it looks like all the synchronicities also go against the Egypt trip for me. And I wanted to ask, I'm like 98% uh, like confident then that this guidance is clear, but I would still like to make sure that I don't project my fears as the outcome. Like for example, there is this vaccine passports, which of course affects me as well. So I want to make sure that this is not something subconscious that would say no, just because I'm afraid.
All right. Well, the idea is to pay attention to whatever qualities within your observations represent fear. Because if you tune in to the reality of going to Egypt and you detect that certain feelings such as fear or anxiety emerge, those sensations are then communicating to you that there are certain resistances within yourself that are being triggered or brought up by the contemplation of that particular direction. So what we would advise is the idea of allowing for yourself to fully dissolve the resistances that you feel. So you can create for yourself a more neutral vantage point, thus allowing for you to more clearly see the situation. So you can see your preference and your preferred path. So what we would advise is really allowing for yourself to connect to your breath, connecting in particular to the exhalation and the spaciousness that is created in the body when the lungs are completely empty of air. When you connect to the exhalation and the point of emptiness within your breath dynamic, you will fully connect and align with the energies of emptiness, neutrality, your center perspective. And from here, the idea is to simply become aware of each sensation of resistance that emerges when you contemplate that direction of going to Egypt. And then with your breath, dissolve into each of the resistances. Don't push them away. Simply feel them to the fullest you can feel them on your inhale. And then on your exhale, really dissolve them. Really go into that state of letting go and nothingness. And do that for a few moments. And you'll find you begin to then align with more of a neutral perspective, a less biased perspective. And this can allow for you to then observe the different options that may be available to you that represent your preferred methodology and way of going to Egypt. You may receive new ideas, you may receive new insights. And with every idea and insight that you receive, recognize you can also question it. So, for example, if you receive that it is in fact not time to go to Egypt, you can then inquire as to why that is. You can always ask for more information. The idea being to simply stay open. And what you'll find is the more context, the more information you can perceive, the more clear and the more real your preferred direction will become. You will find that you give yourself really everything that you need in the moment to understand that direction. It just takes the idea of getting clear and going into a receptive mode that will enable you to perceive that information. So as we scan your energy, what we are detecting is that Egypt is still in the cards for you. What we mean by that is there's a connection between you and this location. The idea is right now you are perhaps receiving for yourself guidance that can enable you to take a different path in relationship to accessing the energies of Egypt. So as you tune into that neutral center more and you begin to dissolve the resistances that create the experience that you're having presently, you will find that preferred path, that preferred way and method will naturally reveal itself to you through the space that you create.
Mm-hmm. Could we dive deeper into this? Because while I was in the channeling state before, there was absolutely no doubt until I got out of it, kind of, and the ego started questioning it. Because
Yes.
of course, there was like impacts, like financial impacts, complications, and everything. And the message was that I'm needed somewhere else, basically, uh, and that it was connecting me to the process, not to the result of letting go of attachment, if I remember correctly. And there was a question: are you feeling that you are not ready? Are you feeling that you need to go there again? That that was, and I knew, no, I am ready. So there is kind of this. There was this conflict of I want to be kind of special and part of something big, because there is like a big event for thousands of people, and the fact that I maybe don't need it really.
Yes,
Is
yes.
this?
And this is a genuine message that you're giving to yourself. And this is what we mean about the idea of carving your preferred path in relationship to the situation, because the idea of going to Egypt at that particular time for that particular event represents one method, one path, one way. So there's a connection to Egypt, of course, and that's what is creating the sensation of attraction within you. The idea is there's simply another way for you to more easily commune with that area. So you're in the process of really creating for yourself what that way is. So through recognizing that your preferred way is not the original direction that you perhaps built for yourself, you're now tasked with the idea of creating for yourself a new way that really represents your preference as it exists now. So a part of that process of discovery is really getting in touch with what is your preferred reality now? What do you prefer to create for yourself now? And how does that preference align with the symbolic energies of Egypt? And that's how you can begin to craft that preferred path for yourself.
I see. So basically, for me, part of it was that part of the message was that if I drop it now, I kind of lose the last worry that I keep holding in my energy field about the COVID situation, because I don't mind if it takes let's say half year or a year, except for this one thing, because I need to make a decision by the end of this month, basically, if I go or no. And it is not cheap as well, and it also is there is a lot of implications. So this is what I detect, and based on also your guidance, I think that I can make a conclusion that not this particular event, so therefore I can drop the sort of the fear and the worries about how this is going to turn out, and something else will show up synchronistically if this is my path.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, thank you
Exactly.
for this confirmation.
And the idea being to create the space for that new information to reach you. The idea being dissolve the resistances and go into great harmony and alignment with the qualities of your preference and the frequencies of Egypt itself. And as all of those energies come together and blend together, you will find whatever that method is will reveal itself to you through maintaining that level of alignment and letting go completely from all expectation or insistence.
Okay, thank you very much. This is very
Yes.
helpful.